So this video is going to be about accessories for your laptop, and there's something that's really important for you to know about the new Mac laptops, and it's that they use this thing, uh, this new kind of port that they call a USB-C, um, and um, and this is another thing that I have a lot of really strong feelings about. When we were looking at the Apple Air the first time, the only real ports that it has on it are like these two little guys right here. On the far side of it, I think I have a picture of the other side of it. It literally only has a headphone jack, and that's it. Between the USB-C, those two USB-C ports, and that headphone jack, there's there's nothing else that can be plugged into this machine. And what the reason behind this is that Apple is going towards this minimalist concept and also this wireless concept where they're really pushing things like Bluetooth and Wi-Fi so that uh, because they feel like those are the future. Like that's the way that they think. I don't necessarily agree, but and at the same time, they're really pushing the future because most things that you buy today use a USB cable. In fact, if you bought a brand new iPhone, it doesn't come with this kind of a cable hookup. It comes with a regular USB hookup like everything else in the world. And Macs are really the only ones that do this, where they push this, USB-C on you, and yeah, so Thunderbolt C, USB-C. But what this does is it's basically a universal cable. So your power adapter for charging your laptop or supplying power to your laptop will use the exact same port as um, your printer or a mouse or an external keyboard or anything like that. Uh, they all use the exact same port. And the first question that I asked was like, well, there's only two of them here, so how does that work? Because if I have to charge this thing, that means that I've got my charging cable in here, and then all I have is one extra cable to do everything else that I want to do on this thing. What's the point of that? And their answer to that was the a USB-C hub. I spelled that wrong. HUB. Okay. And what these do is they allow you to put in just tons of stuff, all sorts of stuff. Um, you can take your normal power cord that plugs into to charge your laptop, and you plug it into this guy, and then you can plug anything else that you want into it, and then you plug it finally into your computer, and that way you can charge your computer, you can put all of the accessories that you want on your computer and everything in with one single plug. And that's the way that this is meant to work. That's the way that these things are designed. That's the whole concept behind it. And you're going to hear things if you start searching around. They call it the dongle life, right? And it's basically where um, you need some kind of a dongle or a hub or something like this in order to attach anything to your laptop. And um, and in some ways, that's okay. I've had a laptop for many years now, and I have a hub that's just like this, but it's so that I can plug in lots of regular USB accessories, in through one port on my MacBook. Because like my MacBook Pro, the old one, the one that I'm talking to you on right now, it only has two USB ports. But they're regular USB ports. They're not these USB-C or Thunderbolt 3 ports or whatever they're calling them. It doesn't matter. It's they're regular USB ports, but you only get two of them. And so I had lots of other stuff. I had a keyboard, I had a mouse, I had my phone that I plugged into it. You're going to have your iPad that you're going to plug into it. I had printers, and then I had sometimes thumb drives, sometimes external drives, all sorts of different stuff that I would plug into this thing. And I needed a hub so I could plug a bunch of stuff in there. And so that's exactly what this does for you. And and there's tons of them that are out there. I don't know of one particular brand that's better than the other ones, but using the same methodology that we had before, this guy right here, 649 reviews, overwhelmingly positive 5-star reviews. This would be a really good buy to have. This would be a really good thing to buy. But you can go through and see if there's something better, if there's a different one that fits your needs. And chances are the one that you get, the very first one that you get, isn't going to be the one that you have forever. You're probably going to go through several iterations, finding something that works for you with the setup that you have at home. You might find that you don't even actually have to use this for whatever reason. It's entirely possible. So I don't know if you would necessarily want to buy one of these like right out of the gate, or if you would want to wait a little while to get something like this. It's really up to you, but I wanted to talk to you about it because the fact that you're going to get this and it's going to have these little USB-C ports on there, and none of the stuff that you have that plugs into a computer is going to fit into this thing, and it didn't want you to panic and go, oh my god, what am I supposed to do now? I can't have this. So this is the solution to that particular problem. Another thing that Stella brought up was getting you a case. So laptop cases, not like this, but more like a phone case for your laptop. I mean, yes, you should probably get like a laptop case like this too. Any of these, like these 15.6 inch, there's going to be a huge gap in all of these. So a lot of times what you would want to do if you're going to be searching for any of these is you would probably say something, want to put like, put your particular type of laptop in here, and then search for that, so that way you can get stuff that is going to fit your particular laptop. Now, you see how, I just put in, the MacBook Air. I still put case, but it came back with a very different result. Because these laptops are so small and they're so light and they're very portable, people don't necessarily use like a big old briefcase for these anymore. They have a case like most people have on their phones. And what they'll do is, and on top of that, so those are the cases. I'm using air quotes. You can't see me, but those are the cases, right? And you can use this stuff. I've never had a case like this on any of my laptops, but then again, I've never had a laptop that's as small and as light as like the laptops that you're looking at. So this might be something that you're interested in. There are lots of different shell cases and designs. The one that you would probably be looking, the one that I recommended was a 13-inch MacBook Air. So like this guy right here is exactly what you would be looking at. You can see the two little Thunderbolt. Let me zoom in a little bit. You can see the two little Thunderbolt locations right there, ports right there, and you can see how it just kind of slaps around the outside. It's going to make it bigger and it's going to make it slightly heavier. But if you want to have something where like you want to protect the outside a little bit, this is a nice thing to have against like bumps and scrapes and stuff like that. I wouldn't say that it gives you any kind of drop protection, so I wouldn't. I still wouldn't drop your laptop. Um, but you know, if it's, this is really for like if you're a student and you're shoving this in your backpack with a bunch of other stuff, you know, or if you're putting it in and out of a bag on a regular basis and you don't want to scratch up the outside, or if you just want like a nice, pretty design on the outside of it, because, you know, some people think that the regular plain Apple designs are ugly and they want to, you know, brighten it up. But other than cases, they also have what are things that are called vinyls. And let's do this. And so what these are is they're, and see, sometimes they're just like a little design, but they also can have vinyls that go over the entire outside of the laptop. And what it does is it just puts kind of like a little extra bit of grip on the outside of your laptop, makes it just a little bit easier to grab, because when you get these, um, they're super slick and they can slide out of your hands like really easy if you're moving it around and stuff. And so putting something like this on your laptop might give you a bit of an advantage, because that way, you know, you don't, it just gives you just a little bit more grip on your laptop, and then it gives you that extra design. And um, the weight, the amount of weight that this adds is next to nothing. But you know, you can take something like just a very plain, you know, laptop, and you can add just a little bit of texture or a little bit of color to it, or you know, you can just keep it kind of like the way that it is, and but just add that extra layer of vinyl on there so that it makes it a little bit easier for you to, you know, hold it. You know, I know I've seen people where they get these kinds of things and just for the sole purpose of drawing their own design. So like they'll put something like this and then they draw on it, or they put their own logos on it, or whatever. And it becomes part of like their marketing and their branding and stuff like that. I've seen in different YouTube videos and stuff like that. Um, so, you know, that's something for you to think about. Ooh, I like that one. That's kind of cool with the world map on there. Yeah. Anyway, so, oh, that's cute, because like the poison apple. Oh, I like that. Well, so anyway, so we kind of talked about bags a little bit. You Most laptop bags are going to run a little bit large, so you definitely want to find something that's smaller, that, you know, is made to fit your specific laptop, because that way it's not going to um, flop around or something like that if you were going to travel. What might be nice is if you are going to be traveling, is finding a laptop bag that kind of doubles as a purse. That way you can kind of get everything in one package together. Um, in some of the new airport rules, um, you know, you have to take your laptop out and things like that when you're traveling, and so that's something to consider when you're putting it, picking a bag or whatever. Um, so, as far as keyboards and mice, you know, you from what I understand, you have a keyboard that you really like, and the mouse that you had with your larger laptop, those can both still work with your existing laptop. Um, you know, there's it's the exact same thing. You know, they're Bluetooth, and if they're not Bluetooth, they're USB, and so you just use one of these hubs. It's really not it's not that big of a deal. You can do the same thing if you want to. Stella brought your keyboard and mouse here, so if you want those, I'll just send them back when we send you the the other the new laptop, after we've got everything all set up. So you know, it's really not that big of a deal. Um, anyway, so the last thing that I thought I would talk to you about is a laptop stand. So stand. There we go. So these are super handy. I have one. It's not as nice as this, but for a lot of people, even though they have a laptop, they still like to use it as a desktop. And so what I do is I have like a stand. It's not, like I said, not as nice as this, but it's similar to this. And I have my little USB hub thing that plugs into the side here. And underneath here I have my keyboard and I have my mouse. And that's just what sits on my desk on a regular basis. And so something like that would also work really well for you, but it's a matter of personal style and stuff, and you have to figure out what you really like. These, for the most part, they're universal, and it just becomes a matter of finding one that looks good on your desk and is ergonomical. You want it to just raise up high enough that you're not constantly bending your neck unless that's something that you want to do, and you just don't want it to be ridiculously ugly. Some stands come with little fans and stuff like this, which is actually super nice for Windows machines. Macs don't get really hot. The way that they work is the way that the laptops work at least is that they use the case itself. So like the outside case of a Mac is made out of aluminum. It's recycled aluminum, and they use the case itself as part of the heat sink for the computer. So instead of like on a PC, you'll see there'll be a fan that blows a lot of air, and the idea is to push that air out. And Apple or Mac makes their laptops in such a way where the exterior of the cool air around a laptop, around the outside case of the laptop, is actually used to cool the internal components. So stuff like this doesn't really work really well for a Mac, or it's not really necessary. I mean, it's fine, it's cool, but you're just adding extra fans that you don't really need. And I've never been a big fan of these like little mouse pads that are on the side for these kinds of things. They're always super wobbly. I was never a big fan. But something really simple like this would work really well for you, I think, as long as you got something that um, complemented the type of laptop that you have and the type of setup that you're doing on your desk. Maybe you're trying to go for like a more of a minimalist thing, and so you could get something like this. But I mean, a lot of these, I mean, you just sit there and go, oh well, it's for a 12-inch MacBook, and I mean, it just straight up tells you what these are for. And I mean, here you go. That's not a bad price either. So something like this, it'll be just fine. And as long as you get something that's small enough, or it's small enough for your laptop, because some of these can run to be pretty big, and if the little stops that hold the thing up aren't you know are too big, then your laptop ends up sliding down the middle, and you don't want that. Um, One of these like little extendo arm things, I never think I'm not a big fan of them just because I think that they're super ugly. But and also like these attachments are super flimsy. And you really like, I mean, you look at the difference between how much space on your desk you save by putting it up like this versus just elevating it like this, and you have a little space underneath. I suppose if you needed like some additional elevation, or for whatever reason, if this isn't holding it up high enough for you, then yeah, I can kind of understand putting in something like that, but I don't know. Um, but that was it. That's all I can really think about as far as accessories. Stella did bring your external hard drive here, and I have every intention of just sending that back when we send back uh, or you send you your new computer. So I mean, you already have one of those, and then if I'm already sending the hard drive and then I might as well send the keyboard and the mouse, and so then you would have a little external Bluetooth keyboard and your external mouse, and you could get one of these little guys, and then that's all that you would really need. You'd have a little keyboard and your little mouse, and then this would be your desk setup. and you probably wouldn't even need a USB hub, because your keyboard and your mouse. Although maybe something for your printer. But anyway, there might be a little regular USB to a USB-C conversion thing that comes with your laptop. So we'll have to see what pops into the bag. And but anyway, the next video that I'm going to do is going to try and it's more of just like a I was thinking about talking about just kind of keeping safe with your new laptop, and trying to avoid some of the performance issues that I've seen with your old machine. But we'll talk about that in the next time. So talk to you later.